Stupor, the drunk Pokefam. This cute little fellow is an amphibian, which means it breathes air like a mammal, but drinks like a fish. In fact, it drinks so much it makes you look teetotal by comparison. You put the Stupor in your familiar grow terrarium. He opens his mouth in a wide grin and starts looking for something to pour into it. You decide to name him Tronathan. Cute little buddy. Drinks you under the table. Hey look, Ma! No hands! This is either an earthworm covered in oil, or an amalgamation of oil in the shape of an earthworm. Either way, I totally dare you to eat it. You put the worm in your familiar grow terrarium. It burrows into the soil in the bottom and makes a disgusting, oily home for itself. You decide to name him Bodius. Be oily for things. With the help of this fella, he's always on time. This is an egg made out of chocolate, from whence will hatch who knows what manner of chocolatey madness. You put the cocoa egg in your familiar grow terrarium. A tiny chocobo emerges from it and begins to fan its wings and coo. You decide to name him Hagarth. Chocolate feathers. Healing, fighting, scavenging. Give monsters the bird. It turns out that Arg must have been female, and a mother to boot, because after you killed him, or her, this seal larva jumped off her back and crawled onto your foot. You were going to stomp on the disgusting thing, but just look at those big cute puppy dog eyes. Aww, how could you ever squish such an adorable fanged slug-like vermin like this? You put the adorable seal larva in your familiar grow terrarium. It slimes its way up the wall of the tank and blinks at you with those big brown eyes. Aww. You decide to name it Bodius. Wait, didn't we use Bodius earlier? Cute little bloodsucker. Kills enemies with fangs and adorableness. Damn, Gina, this kitten is so cute! You put the black kitten in your familiar grow terrarium. It curls up under a little ladder, takes a brief nap, and wakes up fully grown. You decide to name her Tuxan. What a cute kitty! What could possibly go wrong with her at your side? Corn Beefodon, the meme Pokefam. Pokefam researchers, or at least this one, aren't sure where this thing came from, but everyone kept making a big deal about it, so here it is. Despite the fact that corned beef is a misnomer and not even a thing. You put the corn beefodon in your familiar grow terrarium. I don't know, I guess it lumbers around in there? You decide to name it Tonklin. Everyone wanted one of these things, but I don't understand the joke. This is a clockwork grapefruit that has yet to have been wound up. Strains of the old Ludwig van began to play in your Rassadok as you viddy the lanky vish. Should I read Clockwork Orange so I can understand what the hell is going on? You put the unwound clockwork grapefruit in your familiar grow terrarium. What's it gonna be then, eh? Your new droogie leaps off your rock and viddies the layout, looking for some grassy bashy to kip in the yarble. You decide to name him 6655321. Ultra-violent. This horror show familiar. Spills red, groovy. This is a little larval imitation crab. Looks like he got swept into a crate along with the butchered remains of his extended family. Poor guy. You put the imitation crabzoa into your familiar grow terrarium. Did I pronounce that right? Anyways, he starts scuttling around sideways, threatening your other familiars with his pincers. You decide to name him Wufferson. 2 clinking pincers and 1 mean disposition. Hey, why so crabby? This is not, as you're probably afraid of, a bee that kills babies. It's a baby bee that will eventually grow up to kill babies. Crucial difference. You put the baby killer bee in your familiar grow terrarium. The baby killer bee quickly grows into an adult-sized killer bee and starts buzzing angrily around the terrarium. You decide to name it Stugenold. Hovers like a bee. Ask ye, and ye shall receive several nasty stings. Aw, what an adorable baby clownfish. Just look at his tragic little withered fin. He probably got separated from his dad, who is now searching the ocean for him, and wait a minute. Check out the 5 o'clock shadow underneath the clown makeup. That's not a baby clownfish at all. You put the midget clownfish in your familiar grow terrarium. He uses a seltzer bottle to make a little puddle to swim in which to swim. You decide to name him Hodius. Submarine Joker, as funny as all clowns are, which is not at all. Mew, the Neither Pokefam. Previously thought not to exist at all, this mythical Pokefam was so rare and weird that we're still not really sure we're not just hallucinating. You put the Mew in your familiar grow terrarium. It seems content, but honestly, it pretty much always seems content. You decide to name it Woolium. This mythical thing is absurdly magical, and pretty cute too. This looks like an ordinary ammonite fossil, but it shimmers with strange colors, and when you touch it, it's like you can hear thousands of voices in your head, all shouting instructions at you at once. It's like being back in your high school PE class. Weird. You put the strange helix fossil in your familiar grow terrarium. A beam of light shines down from above, and you think maybe you hear angels singing? Weird. You decide to name him Based Helix Fossil. Deliver us from evil with great anarchy. Fortunately, you managed to get this guy out of the codebase and quarantined in the simulation before it could do any real damage. You put the software bug in your familiar grow terrarium. Hopefully it won't corrupt your other familiars. At least, not in a boring way. You decide to name him Invalid Syntax in line 723. Here's what you get when a semicolon goes abort, retry, fail,